Standing in a crowded room and I can't see your face. Put your arms around me, tell me everything's okay.
Can you hear me? Yes. Am I speaking at the right speed, or would you like me to change? It's okay, yeah? So if you don't understand because I use some strange English slang, Steve, stop, say it again in English, yeah? Okay? Deal? Good. Now then, not everybody knows me. Some of you know me a lot more than others. So I would like to start with a little introduction about myself, okay? I've worked for, in industry, I'm a graduate engineer, and I'm a mechanical engineer, and I've worked in industry now for around about 30 years, okay? I've spent a bit of time in car companies, so I started off as an engine designer, and those three companies there, Cosworth, Jaguar and Rover, some of you who are over 40 years old know this car, know what it looks like. They once sent a car out to the Rover factory in Coventry, and there was a slight setting wrong, and they worked out who built the engine, and it was instantly sacked. Okay, so this is the first environmental thing with high quality. These are two cars I worked on as well. I designed. This is actually an Aston Martin, and I have to explain. When I was working for Jaguar, I was a graduate intake graduate in Jaguar in 1986. Jaguar was sold to Aston Martin 2 or 3 years later. So all the work I worked on a project called the F-Type, okay, which later became another car, actually got sold off and ended up beside this car here. So I've actually had some input into the design of an Aston Martin engine. And this is the 4-litre XJS convertible, right? Well, those of you that watched the Saints in the 80s, was it? What was the Saints? Before you guys were born, most of you anyway, I designed the convertible. Yes, the first time I ever got involved in KY, because I had to run down my KY jelly to lubricate this. There's a story to tell maybe down the road at some point about this. When we talk about strategy, and this is the best step, I was trying to work out, and I spent a lot of time on Google, it took me 3 minutes to get this, but actually, no, this phrase here is pretty much how I've always been explained on strategy, which is strategic is doing the right things, and tactical is doing things right. And that's the way I think sums it up very much, okay? Because people can get into lots of theory about strategy, but ultimately, strategy is very straightforward. It's about defining a plan and working out what you want to do, and the tactics actually how you carry that plan out. And in the next hour and a half, what I'd like to do is give you examples, and hopefully you give me better examples, of where the strategy itself effectively does everything, where you don't have to worry about the tactical side of things, and in some cases where the tactics is more important, where the strategy is a simple idea, but actually the difficult part is the execution. So I'm going to try and give you some examples, both internal and external, and then hopefully you can start to generate your own thoughts with it. Okay? So there's one thing that if you went away with today, that phrase, and you learn, appreciate that and apply it, I think, I feel comfortable, but that's pretty much how I define strategy. Who is the executive committee, do you know? Do you know who these guys are? You've met at least one of them, if not two. This is not too much. Can we get on to the executive committee thing, yeah? So executive committee, right, so I'm going to explain about executives. Do you know what non-executives and executives are? Some of you will, some won't. Okay, so there are two sides of any company. Two sides. One of them is the executive committee. It doesn't have to be called that. It could be called anything, yeah? It could be leadership team. It could be, in some companies, it's just one person. It's the owner, yeah? It's a small company. And then you have, where you've got owners which are external to the company, and our owners are shareholders, we have non-executive directors. And these people effectively represent the shareholders, yeah? They represent the owners. So ironically, the boss of the company is a guy called Adrian Bellamy. He's the chairman of the board. So, and if he was to retire, Rakesh, CEO, would actually have to recruit his own boss. Because it's in the interests of the company to make sure the chairman has an awful lot of contacts in the city of London, globally, and to be involved in all types, has lots of experience working with other companies. So if you go through the list of people here, so we have two people on our executive committee in the company only 2 of them, of this team here, that actually sit on the main board. Okay, so Rakesh, the CEO, and the Chief Financial Officer. This you need to go onto the, not the main board, but Roberto Fenari. So everyone in R&D reports to Roberto, and Amadeo, our great leader, who we all report to, yeah? And then you've got IS and HR, for some reason, get senior vice presidents. Do you know what this thing is here at the bottom? It's weird CSQCO. So corporate officers. You can have officers who are executive, not executive. Bar, yeah, it's very good. So he has this fancy job title, which no one's going to be able to say. We're going to have to come up with a different word for it. But Chief Safety Quality Compliance Officer, right? And that's been created because of what's happening in Korea, and also what's happened in Pakistan. You know, we had 3 fatalities in Pakistan. What's their mission? Yeah? Let's work out their mission statement without looking it up. And don't Google it, whatever you do. Come on, it's not hard, yeah? What do they do? What do you think about Friday night? I go and have to meet somebody in a, what's the name of that pub? What do you do? Yes, information, yeah? So you want to get information where? Now. Yeah? Where? Anywhere, yeah? Information accessible, but that's it. Their mission statement. Don't overcomplicate it, it's dead easy. That's it, yeah? So don't try and fluff it up, yeah? And people now, I can put that up without the brand name, and you know who I was talking about pretty much, yeah? So how do they define their strategy? How do they work as a company? Now, I'm going to get into E's and P's in a minute, right? So companies like to brand strategy, and I'm going to talk about our own 5 P's later on, so I'm introducing other people's E's and P's. So they have, this is very much, as when you go there and visit Google, I went today in Google, it's all about giving time to people to experiment. Okay? That's their corporate strategy and their internal principles, guiding principles of the company. And they like to empower people. Yeah? I think within RB, there's a degree of empowerment as well. I really do. If you've come from other companies where you have to put in a bit of paper to do something, here it's up, get on and do it and tell me if it works. And don't worry if it doesn't work, we're allowed to fail. Yeah? So we do empower people here, but these guys are in a different league. They can make it nice and fancy, yeah? So they've got there, here you can see some of the brands. You'll start to recognise now how many brands Google actually have, okay? Chrome, Android, somebody said earlier. I mean, Android, I'm going to explain how it's killed off some very big companies later on. Google Plus, they invented Gmail systems, okay, etc., etc. And you can see here, therefore, earns, entice, expand, experiment. This is pretty much how they show their vision to their own employees, yeah?
So working across so many different factories, how do you manage to maintain clarity? Because you'll get a million questions a day about different things. How do you keep everything clear in your head?
Top 10 reasons for failure, number 1, people, yeah? So make sure the people that work with you are bloody people, right? And they are, so that hopefully they can manage, most of the issues at local level. And that's absolutely key, yeah? So, Tomic has gone to Indonesia. He's new, he's never run a factory before, and I know it's things that you didn't ever experience before. Now, having to deal with some of the HR issues, he's going through a learning curve. Marcelo came across from Brazil and never worked in a healthcare environment before, so the first 3 or 4 months here, he's like, so much to learn, you know? So I always make sure that part of my job is spinning plates, yeah? And as you get older, yeah, more experienced, you start to know when the plates are getting close to hitting the floor, so you spend more time, and then it changes, it's constantly changing. So, yeah. Health. I've got a plan to 2020, I can show you later. There's so much, yeah. I mean, Addy can talk about strategy so much more eloquently than I can because he can look at what's going on in the markets. He's so good at this, and that's somebody. If we ever get Addy to come here, yeah, the guy is truly inspirational when talking about things like this. So he can explain, what drives people to do things. Sort of example that Chris used, in his previous company. Addy can do that on a global level. I mean, one of the reasons why digital in China is the way it is that Addy could foresee it. He's bold enough and brave enough to stand up in front of the executive team and argue about not going for short term, yeah? He uses a there's different ways of managing this and different approaches. 2 hours, any more?
Steve, what keep you motivated to be in the business and continue to succeed in your current role?
I've been asked numerous times when I go back to the UK, and almost every time I've said no. Every time, no, I'm not interested. I like working in this part of the world, and I like working with people. You can tell from my style and my approach, I really like working with people, and I get a buzz back as well. And I like it when people that I've worked with go and I like the fact that Tomic has got promoted and got a better job. I like it when I see people. I like the fact that John Bott, who I've worked with for 15 years, and we closed factories together. I promoted him to be a site director in a factory in Guernsey, and a week later, a month later, I told him, by the way, you've got to close it now, almost in tears. So I like it now he's got promoted and he's going to run other ones. This is the thing that makes me want to, get out of bed in the morning. So that's what motivates me. I have a slight passion for Durex. I nearly gave it up a year ago. I was getting a bit tired of some of this manual packing bullshit, but then I thought, no, keep going. So, okay. Right. Well, thank you for your time. Any feedback? Was it of the right sort of level, pitch? Yeah. I didn't go overboard in one direction more than the other, did I? Good. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. All right.
Darling, hold my hand. Oh, won't you hold my hand? 'Cause I don't wanna walk on my own anymore. Won't you understand? 'Cause I don't wanna walk alone. I'm ready for this. There's no denying. I'm ready for this. You stop me falling. I'm ready for this. I need you holding. I'm ready for this. So darling, hold my hand. Don't wanna know that feeling when I'm all alone. So please don't make me wait, 'cause I don't wanna